Hey everyone, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. The first thing on the agenda is Matt and I were talking last week, and we noticed that the team hasn't been super great at sending the async weekly updates with the issues and deliverables. So it's just a reminder, just to give some vision behind it. The reason we do this is so that it's easier to figure out what's going on in the issue. So we don't have to ask engineers. It's just a good way to preempt if that information, as well as making it easier for the wider community to understand how issues are progressing. So that's kind of the vision behind it, so that y'all understand. Any questions with that? Okay, I'll take that as a no. And then I was trying to check with the team for self-monitoring deliverable issues in this milestone. That's something that we really want to prioritize and complete out this release. And I wanted to see if anyone was stuck on anything we can do to move faster, or prioritize different people's work so that we can make sure that that makes it in. Is there anybody who wants to highlight anything? No?
Do we feel
Okay.
comfortable that I mean, anyone that is working on that is feeling comfortable on the issues and think that he can finish that in time? Yes, no means.
Well,
Just put a link. Yeah, go ahead.
I've gotten to make the self-monitoring dashboard, and it works. It's under review now, and I just have to complete a bit of documentation regarding this. So far, I don't see anything that could block me.
Great.
I don't know for others.
And then on the back end side of that, I have one MR up in review now, and then another one in progress to actually load that dashboard that he had made. So I think it's looking pretty good.
Great. Yeah, I posted a link in the agenda to, I think, the list of open issues for that. They're all in dev or review or verification. So that's a good sign. I think we're on track at least, so that's good.
Cool. I think next is you, Matt.
Okay, great. Yeah, I just wanted to highlight and congratulate everyone. Thank everyone. Our metrics for January were, for number of merge requests merged, was a all-time high. So this was good effort by everyone, and I want to say thank you, and it was great work. I put the chart in the agenda, but it's far surpassed what we had previous months. December was kind of an outlier because a lot of people were on vacation, but months before that even, it was far ahead of that. So I really appreciate all the hard work people have been putting in towards this iteration value. And yeah, I think going forward, we'll keep thinking about ways to kind of keep this momentum going and keep working towards it. So yeah, mostly just wanted to highlight and say thanks to everyone for their hard work. Does anyone have any thoughts or comments? Otherwise, I'll move on to the next one too. Okay, so yeah, the next one wanted to bring up about dog fooding. This is a very high priority for the organization, not just our team, but across the company. Dog fooding monitoring is a big push right now. So there's, just to give a little background, I post the first epic in here is a link that we're trying to kind of organize everything. So there's that one. I know Jose, I think started, I think it was Jose, this cloning the SLA dashboard, or uptime dashboard, whatever we want to call it. So that's awesome that it's kind of proving out that we're close, and we have at least the technologies hooked up in place. Now it's just a matter of moving it. I know we've identified a few things. In that first epic, there's excuse me, sub epic about kind of gaps that we're identifying. So as we're finding things that we can't kind of directly copy over from Grafana, we're going to track them as issues in there. So I think this is one of the benefits of doing this dogfooding effort too, is to identify any gaps. Yeah.
Yeah, I think just to chime in a bit, this is actually related to my last comment in this doc, is on the second last. So we identify the gaps, which was done by the work by Jose, great work, by the way. And I think that since this is a high priority for the team, for the organization, actually, we have the 12.9 planning issue, and I want to sign off on that and say, okay, this is the planning issue for 12.9. However, since we identify several issues as gaps, we might shift some of the priority and add some of those to 12.9. So what I've asked Clement and Matt as well, you go over those issues and like try to identify what are the things that you think are the least effort that will take us like the minimum amount of time, so we can squeeze them in this iteration in 12.9, and schedule the big one for the next iteration, because we do have some commitment that we want to deliver for 12.9 already. So I don't want to like change completely the priority, but I do want at least to get a head start for 12.9. So if we can identify those and we can start working on them, and then for 13 we can really like give the proper attention for those issues.
Great. Yeah, for sure. I can help out with that. I just put another comment in here too. Well, I guess Clement, you had a comment about visibility, I guess. More of an announcement.
What are you talking about?
For
the access?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so everyone should have access. I added it through a little subgroup on the instance. So everyone that has already logged in once should be part of those groups. I can't create, well, maybe I could. Well, I didn't. I think there might be a way to invite emails actually, but I did not add anyone that did not have an account. So let me know. Everyone should have access though. I think everyone here has at least logged into ops.gitlab.net. I think it's really just the health team that hasn't fully logged in. But let me know if you have any problems. Everyone should be able to see this. Maybe not everyone can edit it, but in the very least, everyone should be able to see it. Let me know if anyone has any problems though.
Great, thanks. And then I just had a kind of a follow-up, kind of a longer term planning thing about dog fooding other features like logging. So Dov, you had some comments.
Yeah, so for logging, so there are a couple of aspects that we can look at when we say dog fooding. So today we are trying to dog food metrics using the infrastructure team. And the fact that we can do that is simply because we can connect to an external Prometheus. So they are actually using Thanos. Thanos, for those of you who are not aware, is basically a scalable Prometheus. So it runs on top of multiple instances of Prometheus and get the metrics from there. So we actually connected Thanos to the ops.gitlab.net. And the fact that we were able to do this exercise is because we can connect to an external Prometheus or Thanos. With login, it's a bit different. I think that if we will ask the infrastructure team to dog food logging, they will ask us to do the same. They have an Elasticsearch instance running, and they would ask us, okay, feed all the data from an external Elastic into your log explorer. So this is a valid use case, okay? But this is not something that we support today, and not sure when we will support it. Obviously, further down the road, we will want to support something like that, but not today. So it means that for dog fooding, what is left for us is to share our solution with other stages, and there are a lot of demands actually from multiple groups in the organization on using the log explorer in the current state. So when Elastic is deployed to a cluster and get the logging, they actually want to they want to observe the logs that are in the GitLab manage app namespace. So so this is definitely something that we are aiming to take on, and I posted the link of the issue. There is a discussion with the defend team about that, but then it will require some design work first. So maybe, you know, probably for version 13, we'll need to do the design. It's a bit different design than the log explorer that we have today. We can talk about it like in a different time when we will like have like a detailed plan. But basically, what we are striving for is having other stages in the organization use the log explorer in a different flavor, to say that, and we can definitely get some feedback there. So that will be the strategy for dog fooding logging for now.
Great, thanks.
I want to touch on something real quick. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like my understanding was for Q1, we're still going to just mainly focus on dog fooding metrics, but we're talking about like future, like as we, you know, move along with our dog fooding, that's kind of future projection, right? Not necessarily things we're actively trying to reach out. Is my assumption correct?
It's not for dog fooding. It's like the purpose of what I just discussed is actually not for dog fooding. The dog fooding will be like a side effect that we'll have. But yeah, it's actually a feature that we will have that will be used by other stages. And we will get feedback by the customers that are using it and also the engineers that are using that.
Okay, so is that going to be a tied focus between that and because I know that we're trying to make logging in a different, like mature in the category maturity, and then we're also trying to move dog fooding metrics. So are they kind of the same priority for the next quarter or so?
No, it's not in the same priority. We can think about the priority, you know, and a planning issue, and see if we'll have time for that. But it's definitely not in the same priority as, for instance, dog fooding metrics supersede the logging effort that we have from the defense team. Although this is something that the organization would like us to collaborate with.
Cool. Thanks for clarifying. I did have a follow-up. I was wondering if we knew how many, like what is our goal for how many dashboards we aim to clone? I know we have that one issue for the uptime SLA dashboard, and I think we've been doing really good on like progress and identifying gaps, but I was trying to see if we've come to any conclusion of how many dashboards we want to do in one quarter.
Yeah, that's a good question, because this is something that I wanted to ask Sam, because he asked us to look at another dashboard, and after that he will ask us another one. So I want to first make sure that everyone understands that we are working on a single dashboard, because we have enough work on our plate just by cloning this one, by identifying the gaps. And yeah, we need to reach out and ask, okay, how many dashboards do you want us to work on, basically, and how can you measure success for this OKR? So it still needs some clarification from the rest of the team.
Awesome. Okay, thanks for clarifying. Matt, do you want to take the lead on that one?
Sure. Yeah, I can.
Thanks.
Well, the next one looks like it's Nadia who isn't attending, right? So she is suggesting adding a scope of work for UX to the milestone planning issue, so we can estimate capacity easier. I think that Clement, you said it too, but I think that seems straightforward or makes sense. I know she had she added a comment in the planning issue already that's linked here. Does anyone else have thoughts on that? But I think, yeah, that should be a kind of a main part of the description for helping us plan. Oh, I guess it already is in the description too. If not, then we can move on to Dove on a related topic.
Yeah, I already verbalized this bullet point about the planning issue. The next one is the release post for 12.8. As always, the time had come for me to pinging all of you and nagging all of you if this issue is complete or not complete. So expect me to reach out over issues and Slack asking you if there are any updates on several issues which are related to release post. And Clement, regarding your question on Amy, I think Amy starts shadowing Axel on 12.9 officially. We can definitely reach out, and she's actively trying to help, but I'm not sure that she will be the point of contact for this release. Definitely for 12.9 shadowing and 13, she will.
I think Amy's on the call, so maybe she can help answer that too.
Oh,
you say
Amy,
my
you're
name
here.
3 times and I show up. To answer the question, it is complicated. That's the reason you weren't sure. I am supposed to only officially start shadowing for 12.9, but Axel is about to take 2 weeks of vacation starting as of Friday. So it looks like I may be starting a little earlier than any of us planned on. So what we plan to do for 12.8, I will step in on as much as I am able, and anything that I am not able to handle, I will pass over to Marcia. In other words, I'm here to help. It's my job.
Sounds good. Thanks for the clarification. So, I mean, Amy, maybe just introduce yourself for the team. I mean,
sure. I had that for the end, but I'm based in Portland, Oregon, and I do have a background in things tech, things InfoSec. So as I'm learning quickly, there was actually a reason I got assigned to the stage, which was kind of comforting. I have been at GitLab for about a month and a half. I am still busily making all the mistakes one must make when you're new. And I will be taking over the monitor and defend stages from Axel around 12.9, 12.10. I'll try to take over them as quickly as possible once I'm ramped up, but who knows what I'm going to learn in the next couple of months. Feel free to schedule coffee chats with me. I would like to know the people who are going to be sending me work, and you would like to know the person that you're going to say, why did you do this to my perfectly good writing? It's cool. I'd love to talk with you.
Okay, great. Thanks. Welcome, Amy. Glad you're here. All right, moving on then. Dove, was there, I think we're on the 12.8, or did we talk about that already?
Yeah, it's your
okay, so back to me. So yeah, I just wanted to call out that we're starting to plan things for team day at Contribute. That's one day in the middle of the week. So if you will be attending Contribute, and don't have other things going on that day. I started this issue today so we can start collaborating on what the plans are, what some ideas we have for that day. So yeah, it's kind of in the air of how we're going to do that, but I wanted to at least start the planning process and start discussions and start getting some ideas from people. So yeah, I don't know if you had Clement, if you wanted to mention that.
Yeah, I just want to mention that, since Matt and I are crossover helping with the entire monitor stage with 2 groups, we're still figuring out whether we want to combine them for one whole day or whether we're going to split part of it or something. If you have suggestions or ideas, feel free to put it on the issue, but that's where we're at. We haven't fully decided yet, but we'll probably decide something soon.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks. And yeah, in that issue I mentioned too, like anyone who's kind of the stable counterparts for Monitor are welcome at these team days as well. I don't know. I think product is having some of their own meetings. I don't know about like Amy, like the technical writing or anything. So as we figure that out, just know you're of course welcome with us. But yeah, we'll be doing more planning. They just are, the contribute planning team themselves are just kind of just getting to this point of providing information about team day and what to expect. So we'll be figuring that out in the next few days, weeks. Okay, so that's all I had about that. Is there any other topics people had? Anything? Is there issues we want to kind of review or go into?
Yeah, I have actually one question. Not sure if it was, I asked that on the issue, but I wasn't sure if someone answered me because nobody had mentioned me. There is an issue scheduled for 12.8 on moving, I think it's custom metrics to core, and it was broken down into multiple MRs, I think like 6 or 7. And I was wondering if, I don't know who's working on that. I was wondering if we think that it is doable for 12.8 because it looks like a lot of MRs, at least from my side.
From my perspective, the expectation for that issue was just the planning breakdown, since that was with the label. So I just had engineers break it down into the issues. So no work has done yet. My expectation wasn't necessarily to have the team work on it, but we could try to see if we can get started, if that's where we want to go.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Ideally, if we can like get started on that one, because we have several of those throughout the iteration, so the sooner we can start, the better.
Do we know if there's a target date of when we would move them all to core, just so we can understand priorities?
There isn't a target date. We just communicate to our users that we are going to do that. And there is an epic, and it's up for us to decide. And we are not going to do it like single-handedly. We are going to, once we have something on core, let's move it, let's release it, let's not wait. So it's not like, I'm not waiting for everything to move to core and then say, okay, let's move it to core. If something is on core, let's have the users use it as quickly as possible.
Okay, I'll check with Matt and we can try to figure out if we can make it happen for this release.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks for taking some notes. Anything else anyone has for right now? Okay, well, I think that'll be it then for today. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, have a good rest of the week.
Thanks, everybody.